Bryce Young, he's been benched now. C.J. Stroud, he's been cool so far. Anthony Richardson, toss up, he's been injured. Okay, let's keep going backwards. Year before that, Kenny Pickett, he's not even on the Steelers. He fucking sucks. He shouldn't have been the first-round quarterback. That's the truth of this, right? I know John was a very big, adamant person of that. I remember in the whole lead up to that draft.
Yes, sir. I'm back. The quad box is back. I know you guys all missed me last week as I was trolling those Cowboys fans over in Dallas, but episode 130 is here. My name is John. With me is Grandpa J, Mike A, and Trey Day. Fellas,
can you please confess your truth? That hat says Cowboy Golf, and that is Cowboy Blue.
I'm glad you brought up my hat.
Somebody talking about living near Cowboy Stadium. Come on.
Trolling them, but I got a little surprise for y'all. So I'm going to go.
Oh, let's go.
I knew he was a Cowboys fan. You were Stephen A. Smith.
Attack Stephen A. right now. You got the Cowboy.
This is Yeehaw John. Everyone else got nicknames. I got mine.
Yeehaw
This is my new look for the show.
Bro, you know what? We have to have a Yeehaw John moment in the show, and you have to start covering like rodeo, and you have to start covering fishing. And you have to start covering,
well,
fishing,
you did go to bull riding and say it was fun. So.
Hey, I mean, bull riding is great. So I'll cover that sport. We'll go tailgate crashing on bull riding. Yes, my new look is this cowboy hat that my lovely wife picked out for me, and you know, I wore it a bunch of times in Dallas, and I kind of like it. I like the feel. I like the look. Gives me some shade. Also makes me sweat a lot because it's black, but you know, it is what it is.
But it goes with the because it's black. It goes with the jersey.
Go Birds!
Yeah,
go Birds! So yes, I am finally back with a little new look. But I miss you guys. Hope you guys your show last week was great. My fantasy football was not. Like I mentioned in Trey and Brandon and myself's group chat, is that I'm more shocked when I win versus when I lose. I just expect to lose.
You had a good chance to come back. You had the right people playing.
I'm more shocked when I win. So, but kind of brings us to our first topic, our fantasy football panic. And I'm not panicking because this is just a norm for me, but I know the rest of y'all are. One player on your team that you've watched that you're worried is a bust of a pick. Like, you just like, damn, like what happened there? So let me throw it down to Trey Day.
It's not even his fault, but it's Tyreek because, I mean, at this point, I might as well be his quarterback. I sent in my resume. I went in the back.
They have an open trial.
A while. Yeah, I've heard, and I may be his quarterback because at the end of the day, the issue sometimes with receivers is if you don't got nobody to throw you the ball, it don't matter how goddamn good. I mean, they were having to just throw little screen passes to try to competently find ways to get the ball. So Mike McDaniels, and not just my fantasy team, but in real life, is going to get very creative. I did see they had Tyler Huntley on the practice squad. I would honestly consider bringing him up because right now, I don't see it at all with what the hell's the guy's name? Skylar Thompson. I don't see it with him. Then they brought in that other guy, the Boyle man.
Tim Boyle.
I didn't even know he was still in the league.
Boyle man.
I didn't know the Boyle man was still in the league. You know, the Boilermaker there. So if this was Tyreek's working with, then yeah, it could be worrisome. I will say on the quick side note though, it'll be maybe this discussion for another day, but Justin Jefferson, one thing I would give him, he's on my team. I had him the first year we won. I don't give a damn who's the quarterback. This dude seems to be able to get open and find ways to make plays. So as much as everybody argues about who's the best receiver, I honestly don't see how you can't say it's him when it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. A lot of these other guys are depending on who's actually throwing the ball. He clearly can go out here and have a second grader throw the ball, and Justin Jefferson figure it out.
Yeah, it's been brutal. I mean, like a lot of guys we're seeing Jawan Jennings lead the league right now in receiving, or lead last week in receiving yards with like 175 yards. Like no one had him, I think, in our league.
Nope.
It's.
How did your dad get him? Like that's the first.
My dad literally has a stat sheet, and he's like, "You want one?" I'm like, "No, I'm good. I gotta take his advice though. Like I can't even talk shit."
Yeah, he's rolling.
he gets all the guys.
He's rolling right now, man.
Yeah, he's crushing it, and like, good for him. I mean, shit. I guess my biggest bust right now, and like Trey's, it's no fault of his own, is George Kittle. I mean, he got hurt last week, the week before, but they're just not targeting him, right? Like, they're trying to force this Brandon Ayuk. I mean, I get it because you just paid him fucking $25 million a year, so I get it. But George is like the solitude guy. I think George will be my long play guy, not my short play. But George Kittle's been killing me. Like, and then I had to go get Zach Ertz, who got me like 3 points last week, and it was rough. It was rough. So, Mike, who's your bust of a pick?
Yeah, so overall, actually, it's my tight end situation as a whole, but I trust that Kincaid will eventually start getting more consistent targets as the year goes on for Josh Allen. So I'm going to go with Trey McBride. I really thought I bought into the hype that he was going to emerge as the number one for that team while Marvin, got acclimated to the NFL and he would be a security blanket for Kyler like Kelsey is for Mahomes and things like that. But, Harrison has ascended almost immediately, and that has taken a lot away seemingly from McBride. And when I've seen Cardinals games, even when McBride catches the ball, it seems like he's only getting like 4 or 5 yards. He's not getting the big chunk plays that a lot of the other receiving tight ends are getting at this point. So being that I especially picked him so high, I want to say I took him in like the 4th or 5th round. It seems like there may have been a lot of other better options at that point that I could have taken in hindsight.
But, I mean, realistically, if you look at it, there's only a couple tight ends in the entire league right now that are good picks, and it's very scarce. And Dallas Goedert for a trade last week, I think he had 2 targets in 2 games, before that.
Yeah,
so
which is why I
the
had him on the
position
bench
as a
last week.
whole is down, completely. So
big time, not a little bit, big time.
And I know that I forget who mentioned it. Getting rid of the tight end position or kicking position or something like that, and doing a flex, and I think that works to a certain extent if you're in a shorter man league, 8 to 10 man league. If you're in a 12 to 14 man league, that becomes impossible because there's not enough players out there that are getting the touches. But Grandpa Jay, who you got since you just put a whooping on me? I came back. I put a whooping on me.
Yeah, you had the right to come back. So I mean,
I needed like Ertz to just get me like another catch and a touchdown.
Yeah.
That's it.
Ertz was a pancake for you, a big pancake. Unfortunately,
My boy let me down.
The X factor did not X. I'm kind of the team's weird now. I want to see what the potential is with Love. I'm kind of going to jump to the other team that I was a little worried about. I had a 38-point comeback win because of the players I had on Sunday and Monday. So it worked out in my favor really well that when we were watching the game, Mikey and I, Chase finally catches a big touchdown pass, right? And I'm not worried about Chase. At this point, I don't know if it's time to start shopping Mahomes. I'm like, this is the red show right now. So I'm telling you, everything is themed red for me tonight. And I'm worried about our guy. Okay, I don't know why I feel that. I don't know if he's going to get me the amount of touchdowns I need to three-peat with what I see with other teams. So do I try and fill holes right now, like big gaps, and shop him? Or should I be patient because he's going to win me the league? I have a gut feeling. I don't know if he is. Guys, QB 14, 16, 16, and 19 points. 5 TDs, but 4 picks. And that's minus 12 points in my damn league, bro. So it's like, what am I supposed to do? If there's a lot more minuses, I would have lost the game by an interception if I had swapped my flex that I wanted to play in week 2. So it makes me feel like, is he losing me games or is he winning me games?
I think the quarterback position as a whole, and we'll get to it here in a little bit, is down too, right? Like the play is down across the entire league. So I don't know if you should just bail on him automatically because I trust that he's going to figure this out. He started slow last year, right? He's not. You don't have him in our league, so I don't care. But I know Kyle picked him. And,
and Kyle's team's rolling oddly because of everybody else. So.
Right. So I think eventually those two, Kelsey and Mahomes, are gonna connect. Right. It's just evident. I think what they're trying to do in Kansas City is try different things with these new young guys. Get them more involved. Get them comfortable in the offense. And what happens then? His reliable becomes wide open down the middle, and boom, that's when you're going to see Patrick just start getting comfortable. But I think it needs to be the other way around. I think he needs to start getting comfortable in the pocket, throwing to Kelsey, and allowing these other guys to get open. I think it needs to kind of
I think he's capable of playing that way at this point.
Yeah,
like he makes.
I'm not worried about. I wouldn't be worried about it. Now you get to week 15, or I don't think you get that.
The season's done, bro. It's not a very long regular season.
You get the week like maybe, I don't know, 7 or 8. Okay, maybe then you're like, okay, maybe I dump him or put him on my bench. But
yeah, but if he waits that long, he may be untradeable. So
true.
You may if you are,
right. You have to hit while it's hot. So you have to think about these things early if you want big trade bait. Give me that.
I know Trey sent me a deal that I got to take a look at. Pretty much, he took half my team. I took basically just we're doing a team swap. We're just doing a fucking team swap. He's just like him, and I'll give you him. And team swap. Just trade, and we're playing each other this week, so I'll have to really dive into that. I haven't had a chance to, but
once you don't ask you to trade them back after your game, so
bro, I almost hit my fat fucking thumbs almost hit fucking approve. I was like, no, can you trade that back?
No,
please.
I didn't want to do that.
I didn't mean to. My fat thumbs. Fat thumb alert.
But as the commissioner, does it you to approve it first? I thought you had to approve it.
I did, but I was looking.
You almost hit approve.
He almost hit the approve.
Yeah.
Well, if he is accepted, it just says accept. At that point, it goes to a veto. So it would have to be vetoed by multiple.
I would ask everyone to veto. I didn't mean to.
Yeah, it would have to be vetoed by multiple at that point. Trevor, Daniel, Jones, Lawrence. Let's talk about it. Okay, I know I give Danny Dimes a lot of shit, and I do, and he deserves to get a lot of shit. But you know we don't give a lot of shit to? It's Trevor fucking Lawrence. He is supposed to be the guy since high school. I've always heard about this is going to be the future. There will never be a guy like this. He may be the next Andrew Luck as far as being a highly rated prospect. And I see a lot of flopping. I mean, yeah, he had that quick playoff run, and that's fine. They challenged the Chiefs that year. But outside of that, what have we really got for this? I mean, I just watched on Monday Night Football. They'll get their ass kicked again. Was I shocked about it? Absolutely not. Why? Because this is what we start to expect from Trevor. The first year, I want to give him a little bit of a pass because Urban Meyer was a shit coach there, and we get that. But at the same time, the reason I say Trevor, Daniel Jones, Lawrence, because let's compare the guys here. Trevor Lawrence, he averages 230 yards passing game. Daniel Jones, 208. But Daniel Jones actually is a better runner, so he probably does break close to even on that. When it goes to the amounts of games played, Daniel Jones played 63. Trevor has played 53. Trevor somehow has managed to actually have 40 interceptions to Daniel Jones 42. For all the shit we give Danny Dimes about interceptions, hey, shit, Trevor does the same shit too. The QB rating, Trevor is at an 84.5. Daniel Jones, 84.9. Again, we always give Danny Dimes shit, and he deserves to get this shit. But Trevor, it's time to start giving him some of that smoke too, because he was supposed to be the future. 63% passing for his career. Daniel Jones at 64. Yeah, we are going to have to start to evaluate Trevor Lawrence. And let's be honest, we just gave that guy an extension, and everybody's saying he's the future. I don't know, Trevor. Prove it to me.
All right, well, I know one thing I missed in the week, and that is Mike's mind. Because he's always bringing us the facts even though I get confused on him sometimes. So that's why I brought the big Doug Dimmadome hat. So, Mike, take us away with what's on your mind.
Doug Dimmadome? Owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome? So we talk about, players that have fallen short. Well, let's go to a player that fell short of non-football action. So, in 2003, Jaguars head coach Jack Del Rio had a team slogan. It was just keep chopping. This led to the team ending up having a tree stump and an axe in the locker room, which players would take swings at. So one day, Jaguars punter Chris Hansen took a swing while with a few team personnel before everybody kind of got in the locker room. The story is unclear, but the axe either bounced off the stump or went through it, lodging itself in Hansen's kicking leg.
Oh, yeah.
By the time most other people came in, he was sitting on the floor in a pool of blood around his leg. This ended up ending Hansen's season after only 5 games. And, needless to say, the stump wasn't in the locker room anymore. When asked about it afterwards, Jack Del Rio ended up saying, "I'll find a different slogan."
Yeah.
John, give me a little... Not sensational.
No. That was not.
That did not go.
I will not take 14 of those. I will not pass.
Terrible.
I I will go.
That's terrible. It doesn't matter where it hits, but it acts to lodge in anything. That's fucking rough to watch.
Mind you, that's also Del Rio's first season as Jaguars head coach.
I think he should have finished the slogan with "and carry water, chop wood and carry water." You can't just chop and chop and chop, and you get to freaking chop happy. I'm not surprised something like that happened. Too much damn testosterone,
especially with the testosterone going through that locker room with.
Oh yeah,
probably a lot of the guys on steroids and fucking just trying to chop something. It's not working.
But something was bound to happen. It was bound to go wrong.
Yep.
Or they could have just used a I don't know, like one of those foam.
Bro, whatever happened to a sledgehammer on a freaking tire? Like, if it bounces back, you just let go of it.
Well, that's a
workout too. So I do those workouts. So I enjoy those, but golly, it went downhill there from Jack.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He actually had some good years with them though.
Yeah, he had all right. I mean, he made a playoff run once or twice.
He was there longer than I thought.
Yeah.
I looked him up. I was like, was he really their coach in 03?
Was it 9? How long?
Didn't he draft Blake Bortles?
I don't think so. I think he was gone right before they got Bortles.
Oh, okay.
It said he was the head coach from 03 to 11.
Yeah. So about that. 8, 9.
That's still like that's like a solidly long time, longer than I thought.
Well, causing mistakes to happen. What is the worst way to lose a football game? Now that guy lost his foot. What's the worst way to lose a football game? Mikey? Keep you talking.
So I take this. I thought about it, and there's a few different ways that have come to mind that have gone down in football history. But the one that I thought of that I would probably feel the worst about. Does anybody remember the Iron Bowl from 2013?
The kick six.
Yeah.
Yes.
Me and Trevor sitting next to each other.
Like 174 yards.
I remember that shit clear as day because I remember I was going to the bathroom and Trey's like, "Holy fuck! Holy fuck! Holy fuck!"
Yeah.
Me and John were actually watching that game.
I'm like,
What is going in the ball game?
One of the more famous calls possibly in college football history. Yeah. To me, that's what sticks out in my mind.
Okay.
The snatching defeat from the jaws of victory, where it was a long field goal, but still you trust in your kicker, and the kick goes up, and from a certain angle it looks like he's made it. Then oh man, he missed it. Then it's like, oh, he's taking it back. He's taking it back. Why is he taking it back? And then all of a sudden it's over. You go from the highest of highs where it's like we're about to win the game to the lowest of lows where you think there's no way he's going to take it all the way. Look at all of our players all standing in his way, and suddenly they're
yeah.
So
you know what's crazy about that game? Actually, it was even more offensive to me because if you remember what I needed them to win for Ohio State to have a shot to possibly go to playoff. So Ohio State, all they had to do was the next week beat Michigan State in the Big Ten championship, which they end up losing, and that's when you get the infamous picture of Urban Meyer eating fucking Papa John's in the hallway. Yeah. I was excited because that was like, okay, we are going to the I think it was the last BCS year, the last BCS national championship year, and I just knew we were set. We just had to beat Michigan State and blew it. So I was a temporary fan, so I had me hype, and then a week later. Thanks, Urban.
Because I remember that. I rember sitting there and like I laughed and I was like, "He's not gonna make this kick," and he didn't make it. But it was wild.
You're not expecting that Auburn's going to win the game on this play.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, for them to even be in a position to win it there, the game was just a weird one.
They weren't. That's what gets me. Is you would think they're not, and all of a sudden they can.
Yeah. Well, just to be striking distance. That's right.
Yeah.
So Trey, what do you got? What's the worst way to lose a football game?
Okay, so my specific one is the Music City Miracle. I would never forget watching that. Because it's a special teams play, and all you got to do is somebody tackles. And at the time, we had never seen that play. We never seen where a guy catches it, runs up, tosses to a guy, and he tosses across the field. So, I mean, a couple quick things. The Bills had a 16-15 lead with 16 seconds left. So, it's kind of funny. The Bills, is their history. You have all of the kicks in the Super Bowl. Then you have the infamous 13 seconds with Mahomes. But the thing about it is people miss field goals. You lose to Mahomes, many people lost to Mahomes. Many people will continue to lose to Mahomes. But we ain't never seen nothing like the Music City Miracle. On top of that year they had a quarterback controversy. Somehow that was between Rob Johnson and Doug Flutie. They figured out how to get past that. Also, remember, it was a long replay review. That was the first year the current replay system was installed. So that's like the first famous instant replay that goes in is doing the Music City Miracle. So just like watching that whole scenario play out was like, I can't believe what I just saw. And if you ask a lot of people in Buffalo, they still believe that it was a 4 pass and Kevin Dyson and Frank Wycheck and these guys made an illegal play. So yeah, that is terrible. Sorry, Buffalo, to bring that back up.
I'm about to say shit on Buffalo even more.
One other thing too that I noticed just going back and looking at it. So also it ended that was the last game in a Bills jersey for Thurman Thomas, Andre Reed, and it was one other and Bruce Smith. That was all their last game as a Bill. So all these guys were legends throughout the 90s, and they in there. And then one other thing also, I would keep saying one other thing. After the Music City Miracle, the Bills didn't make the playoffs for 17 years.
Holy shit, that's right.
So
that's 99.
Just goes to shit after that moment. So yeah, that for me changed their franchise. The Josh Allen got there.
That's crazy. Was that the Fitz year?
No, that was Rob Johnson and Doug Flutie. They were going back and forth who to start like every other game that year.
Wait, Fitz was in late 2000, 2010.
Yeah, Fitz down the road.
Yeah, Fitz has been on every team.
I was asking him when they made it 17 years later.
I thought they didn't. I didn't think they made it to Allen.
That's what I thought too, but it was 17. Allen wasn't in the league in
1999, so let me say it'd be 09.
I was 16. Allen hasn't been in the league for 8 years.
That's
right. Maybe Fitz did take him.
Yeah.
I think that is the Fitz Patrick year.
I don't remember Magic making the playoffs in the 2000s.
Magic.
Oh, actually, you know what? No, I know there was a run. Tyrod Taylor made it one year.
That might have been Tyrod.
I think it's a Tyrod Taylor year, actually. Yeah, I think that's actually that year.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I was bouncing back and forth with this because, like, people say kickers because kickers aren't part of the team, but they are part of the team. But I can't say kickers because, you know what, a lot of them now can really hit it from 65 plus, right? So you miss on a kick. I think the worst way is just a bad call. Like there's no specific point, but just a bad call when the refs take the game away from you. And obviously, now that it comes to me with one is I think it was like 2013, 2014 when it was the New Orleans Saints versus the 49ers. That pass interference.
You mean the Rams? It was the Rams.
The Rams. Is that 2018?
I know what game we're talking about, though. Yeah.
Was that 2018? Yes.
The blatant pass interference.
The blatant pass interference.
The no pass interference, right? So, I think, when the refs take the game into their hands or when they miss a blatant call, that is just like, how did you miss that? And no, I wasn't going to the Super Bowl because realistically, with the Eagles, I wasn't thinking that. It's just like when the refs put the game in their hands on a either touchy call that they haven't been calling all game, or if they miss a major call, that is the worst way to lose a game because it's like you've been calling this all game. It's a blatant pass interference. The guy hit him 5 seconds before the ball even got there, and you don't call it. Like that's bullshit. And then the same thing, vice versa. You make a big, let's just say a big hit on Mahomes. And then Mahomes, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. That's like, come on, man. That's a clean sack. That's the worst way to kind of lose a football game, in my opinion, is when the refs put the game. And I say it all the time. Like, that's terrible. The refs should not have – they should swallow their whistle unless it's absolutely blatant. They should swallow the whistle. So I say, the refs deciding the game is the worst way to lose a football game.
I see it. For sure. I mean, and there's the thing is there's so many examples of it.
Grandpa Jack.
I mean, too many examples of it now. So maybe that's why it'll lead us to our next one. All right. So for me, it's it kind of ties in both ways, right? So it goes back to what we know is almost like a year ago to date right now. So our guy, Mario Cristobal, decides, well, I don't have that big of a lead, but we're leading, and who cares what we're leading by because we're going to win the game. So I'm just going to run the ball instead of going to victory formation because that's the best thing I could do for my team in this moment to win a game when all you have to do is tell your quarterback, victory formation, whatever the freaking hand gang sign that is, just put your hand up and win the game. So for me, the worst thing is to be on the field as a player. I think Shaquille Brown was the quarterback then, and having in your mind to be like, why is coach calling that? And you have to make a choice. Do I go against what coach said, or do I actually hand the ball to the running back? I think the worst way to lose the game is to question yourself in that moment. For him, I had to go back to this game, probably knowing the best thing for his team to do is do that. But how do I go against what my coach says to do? And now you're confused and caught in the middle, but you're out there for your team, right? So I think the worst way to lose the game is to know your coach made the worst freaking call he could possibly make, and you have to run the damn play. And you know that might cost you the game, and it freaking did, because Georgia Tech went on to win the game. That sucks. And I would hate to be
worse
coaching in college. Like when a coach makes a bad call, Pete Carroll, Super Bowl. If Russ knows he should give it to, if he knows he should give it to Marshawn, and everything is written there that says give it to Marshawn, fuck what Pete says. I'm a firm believer in that. Your coach is not always right. He's a human just like us. So at the end of the day, if you're not feeling it, you're on the field, not him.
John,
you're in the trenches.
If you get to do victory formation, if you get to make that call, it's not you have to run and play to win.
Right,
it's
but I'm saying like you have the call. Like you have the call.
It's harder in college though to put, because the thing about it is you got to remember you got these diva coaches. Now Russell Wilson, he has a little more clearance to say fuck what Pete said. I'm audible in it, but you got to get to a certain stature to kind of get away with that. Because I look at like Peyton Manning used to many times. I remember watching Peyton Manning wave dudes off. Like I remember Tony Dungy sending people on and Peyton saying, "No, we're not punting the ball. I'm going for this." But Peyton Manning has that type of equity. You don't necessarily have that type of equity when it comes to a college, a college guy. So you kind of got to just eat it. It does suck because now you got to look at this coach. Yeah, it's the respect level is different there. But I do agree because it makes it harder to now look at this coach the rest of the season and take him seriously at that point.
Yeah, I mean, when I look at that, I think it has to be a situational type thing. But I also think if like everyone in the offense is like, dude, this is a wrong call, then they own it together as a unit, right? So if like the receivers, the linemen are like, dude, we've been crushing them on the left side all game. Let's run the ball. Let's get it to the first down and end this game. Or just do the victory formation and we'll take the beef with you. That is something that I think a coach would ultimately understand because at the end of the day.
But could you imagine Brian Kelly? If that happened,
he would the entire offense would be transferring.
Like if that really happened,
this man would be fuming before he got to the locker room. Like his face would be purple.
I mean, they would be transferred right then and there. They'd just be like the dude from UNLV. They'll be red-shirted and transferred. They have a whole brand new
like that dude would lose his shit.
That's why I say it's situational. Like you got to know your coach at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, that's what you're teaching these kids for, right? You're teaching these guys to make decisions and own those consequences, right? That's how it is growing up and being a man and being able to make decisions and own the consequences. Yeah, coach, I was wrong. Like I got that wrong. And vice versa, you made the right call. You made the right call because in your gut you thought this is what it needs to be. And as an NFL scout, when I'm looking at that guy's making a decision that's betterment for the team and not just himself. Right, so when I look at
that's why it sucks to be put in that damn position.
It is. It's really shitty. But I think now Cam Ward gonna be like, "Fuck you, dude. I'm doing what I want."
Right.
Hey,
he's just making sure the game isn't even close. He's like, game over.
We ain't doing this year. We ain't getting embarrassed. But I see it. I mean, I see it in the NFL too all the time. I think that's what they're looking for as coaches. Not all the coaches have the right answers, and so many coaches are so young now that it's hard for these young players to be like, "What do I do?" And it's like, I don't know. I'm new too. What do you do? I feel like that's the situation sometimes. It's like I'm new to the situation too, so let's lean on each other. So, that's football is such a tough game because it wears you out, and there's not a lot of play that according to Trey Day that is in the game. So like when you do see these plays, it's like
right,
yeah. So
how can you make that call? It's like and he played the game. That's like at a high level. Like what are you doing, bro? All right, so it's all about the big red for me this week. And how can you not be cheering for the Red Rifle after the demolition of the defense formerly known as the Raiders out in Las Vegas last weekend? Forget about the numbers because that was the icing on the cake for Andy. But let's just take a second to realize his excitement was to get a chance to play. And he was honest about how he felt, of course, right? His guy gets hurt. But now he gets another opportunity. And that's all you can ask for when you know your career is coming to an end, all right? This guy's 36, and all of a sudden he's like, damn, I get my shot. And boy, does he take advantage of that shot, right? So it doesn't really matter if you're friends of people in the quarterback room, all right? Your job is to go compete for the starting job. That's what you were brought in there to do. Not back somebody up, but play well enough and practice well enough and know the playbook well enough, have chemistry with, of course, second team, but obviously do work if you can with the first team and do what you got to do to be the starter. And this guy was so freaking happy, and I'm happy for him. And now I think it's worth watching a Panthers game, which means the tailgate crashes might not just be going to the season-ending game this year for the Bucs, but that Panthers game right before might be a little juicy if he keeps his play up. And I'll never say go Panthers, but I'm pretty happy for Andy. Red Rifle, baby. Done.
But, I mean, talking about struggles and talking about worst ways to lose a game, there's been a lot of struggles that we did not see this year on the offensive side of the ball. The defensive side has been top-notch. My favorite part of the NFL is the defense. So what is causing these NFL offensive numbers to be so low through 3 weeks? Mikey.
We talked before, there's a few different factors, but we talked before about how seemingly it's like all the tight ends are, even like the best receiving tight ends are like seeming obsolete. I don't see, that's the thing. It's hard for me to pinpoint one thing or the other, but the thing that kind of popped into my head when I really thought about it was, is it like the turnover in rosters and the projected turnover in rosters? You've got so many offensive players that want a new contract or held out or both. You've got, we talked about it last week. The Bengals seem ready to implode because it seems like Chase has an issue with the organization. Higgins has an issue with the organization. They let Joe Mixon go. So like, that's just one example of an offense that can't seem to be clicking. So I guess my kind of educated guess is that it's just rookies, a combination of rookies coming in that aren't used to the system yet, rookie quarterbacks that aren't used to the speed of the game, and then veterans that aren't sure of their place on the team. And so you've got this kind of mishmash of trying to figure out offensive styles that just isn't working, that's just not clicking. That's just kind of like my perspective.
Well, with the Chase and the Bengals thing, I don't think it has anything to do with the contracts. I really don't, because Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase have been playing together for the last 6 years now. They should be connecting more than this, right? I think it has more with their offense.
Your money ain't right. But if your money ain't right, That means your head ain't necessarily there.
But I also think it's also this inflation that we're seeing with these quarterbacks. I think the quarterback is the main reason why the offensive number. And hear me out on this. And to your point right there that you just made, the money. The money is so fucking different than everybody else in the league. You're seeing low potential. Like Bryce Young's going to get a $40 million contract. Guarantee it. At some point, he will get that, and we'll be like, how the fuck did he get a $40 million contract? We're saying that about Daniel Jones after one season of him getting it, right? Yeah. We see this all the time with quarterbacks, and it's getting higher and higher and higher with all these quarterbacks, and it's mediocre play. I think a lot of these quarterbacks are so damn young and not deserving of these contracts yet. They have one good season. And I'll say it about Jalen Hurts. He doesn't deserve the $50 million contract just yet. He needs to grow as a quarterback. But when you give a guy $50 million and you say, hey, here's the keys to the franchise, that puts a lot of pressure. And I understand it. You got to take that pressure. But also, he's still learning the game at the NFL level too, right? Like Peyton Manning came in and he was the highest interception when he first came there. And it took him a long time to build up to a big max contract, right? I know that's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Just throwing that example out there. But when you look at these quarterbacks, they're so young. And I feel like with the coaching turnover that is happening in the NFL every single year, offensive coordinator is going to be a head coach somewhere. Every single year, a head coach is moving or getting fired. There's no development in the NFL anymore. It's just win now or you're gone. And that's the problem. And we're now starting to see it where you're seeing more defensive coordinators stay with teams a lot longer, where now you can get your system and get your guys and start to pluck from different organizations and start to get what you have. And now the defenses are stacked. And they're looking stacked, and they have the depth that is there. So I think there's a multitude of things. Like the quarterback play is not good. It's mediocre. I agree with Tom Brady. There is no development in the NFL right now because you can't develop if you have 4 offensive coordinators. Like Daniel Jones, 4 offensive coordinators in 5 years. Like, how the fuck is a guy supposed to grow when his coach isn't even there all year? Like, yeah, Dable's there, but he wasn't even there. He wasn't even his head coach to start off with. What, he had 2 before that, Mike? Or 1? Joe Judge and who else?
Joe Judge, did he have Pat Shurmur?
Maybe, but
he might have had Pat Shurmur.
Is that there's no consistency with the organization on the offensive side of the ball. And I get what you're saying, Trey, with the money ain't right, you ain't going to be there. But I think that also has to play to the quarterbacks where, like, quarterback is not playing very well, and he's getting this max contract. So now the receivers, who have always been divas, are going to be saying, look it, give me my money or I'm not playing. And that's just how
and that's what I'm ultimately saying. Because you said they played together, and I was like, I don't care if they play together or not. If your money ain't right, I don't give a damn if you best friends or not. Chase ain't going to be right. And I don't even, same with Higgins. If the money ain't right, then they're not going to be right. I mean, you can blame that partly on Burrow for taking the contract, but at the same time, hey, Burrow, why wouldn't you? The contract is there.
I'm not blaming these guys for taking it either.
No.
Jay, I think you had a point on that about the...
Yeah, no. My side of things is that we have to also take into mind that the market can't go up and other positions can't just be not wanting to get what the market dictates all of a sudden, because you go on the percentage of what it was. So as it inflates such style their contract, and they're not stupid because of course they know that the team signed bigger TV deals. Of course they know the deal that with merchandising. Of course they know what's happening. If you're oblivious to that, you're oblivious to that, and that's on you, right? And you have to do a much better job as a player than to wait to negotiate too early. Than to negotiate too early, because right now, what are we seeing? Yeah, the teams might be suffering, but at the end of the day, I'm 100% on board with Trey right now, which is the players cannot focus because they didn't wrap things up for them to focus on starting the season off knowing this is my team and I'm here for at least this amount of time. So my development, like you said, is with this coach and my development is with this quarterback. And that's how we get great players. So it's almost like the NFL is not intervening enough, because they should have a responsibility to not just player like protection and unions and what they have going on, but to team development. Like, you have enough money to hire 6 or 7 or 8 key people, and each one's in charge of a freaking division. And go out there and make sure teams aren't freaking tanking and doing this to our product. That should be something I think your responsibility as a commissioner would be, because I'm on board with you, man. It looks bad for many franchises right now, where they didn't take the time to develop the guy you want to pay $50 million to. Like, how freaking irresponsible is that? You know you're going to pay him that freaking bag, and you're not prioritizing that in your locker room, in your management room. That just blows my mind.
It does.
Which says to me, they don't give a shit about paying people $50 million. Just throw it away. We'll get it back.
It's just wild to me too, because and to Trey's point on that, when you look at a receiver who's got 2, and everyone keeps saying, yeah, Chase has got 2 years left on his deal. Totally understandable. But Chase blows out. Knock on wood, it doesn't happen. Chase goes out and blows out his knee. He's out for this year, potentially out for next year. Is his value still there? They're going to look.
They're not going to pay.
They're going to look at him crazy and say your value's not there.
Right.
We're going to pay you $15 million.
Well, and it makes it worse if you're him.
Because
if you're him, it makes it worse when you're watching Ayuk get paid. You watch if Jefferson and him are close. You watch him get paid. You watch these other guys. CeeDee Lamb got paid. You watch all these other guys get paid. If I'm him, you damn right I'd be like, fuck this shit. I know I'm at least in the same category. He damn well better than Ayuk. No offense to him, but he damn well at least in the same category with CeeDee Lamb and Justin Jefferson and these guys. So yeah, I would be upset if it was that. I guess for me, yeah, it's the quarterback. I put a lot of it to the money of the quarterback, but there's also another glaring issue. I mean, so first off, the money. When you look at a lot of these teams, if you notice, you either have a good quarterback or a good supporting cast, one of the two. So, like, you look at, like, Sam Darnold, you say, oh, shit, he has Aaron Jones, he got Jordan Addison, he got Justin Jefferson, but Sam Darnold ain't making shit. Then you look at, like, Brock Purdy. He's not making shit right now, so now you got all these other weapons. But then when you go to, like, let's say the Chiefs last year, and I worked out, you got Mahomes and Kelsey making money, but nobody else is. So that automatically is going to now make inherently a more struggle offense. But the issue really, deep down, the issue is way before the money. It's actually way before the development. This goes all the way back to the quarterbacks and the drafts. So I want to do a quick exercise with you guys. I have the last 15 drafts up right now of quarterbacks. They're going to be very quickly here. And observe what's happening here. So in the last 15 years, these are only first-round quarterbacks. Bryce Young, He's been benched now. C.J. Stroud, he's been cool so far. Anthony Richardson, toss up, he's been injured. Okay, let's keep going backwards. Year before that, Kenny Pickett. He's not even on the Steelers. He fucking sucks. He shouldn't have been the first round quarterback. That's the truth of this, right? I know John was a very big, adamant person of that. I remember in the whole lead up to that draft. 2021. Y'all tell me, y'all just heard me rant about Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Mac Jones. 4 of these dudes ain't even on the same team no more. Most of these dudes probably weren't really NFL quarterbacks. You go back to 2020, Burrow, Tua, Justin Herbert, Jordan Love. I'll get them a little bit better. Credit in that draft than most of them. Quickly, back to 19. Kyler, Daniel Jones, Dwayne Haskins. R.I.P. Haskins, but even when Haskins was with us, was not working out. Daniel Jones, Mike, I'll let you fill in the rest of the blank on that one there. 18, Baker, Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, Josh Rosen, Lamar. Got an MVP there. Got a couple guys turn out decent, but here we are. We have a theme here. Without me even going all the way back through this, I guess I'll do one more really quick. Trubisky, Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes. Watson, okay, he was good until he, decided to go get massage and all these type of things. Then shit started to hit the fan there. Mahomes, probably go. Trubisky, he went before both of them. Should have never even been in this category. We got people trading up there. So I got to start looking at what are y'all evaluating? Are y'all actually watching college? Are y'all putting so much into damn interviews because somebody can answer some cute question about the Wonderland test? Are you actually watching the film? And that's why I have to start looking at this before we even get to a contract. Because when you miss that much and a quarterback means that much, and we have all these drafts, all these people miss, we basically have an entire generation with more than a 50% bust rate of first-round quarterbacks. Of course, the offense is going to be worse.
Yeah, and I honestly, like, what I see in that is I agree with you 100% on that one, because that's what my next point was on that, is that the quarterback is not getting drafted to the right team. Like, I said this a few weeks ago, I was listening to an interview with Baker Mayfield, and he was just talking about him being in situations where he wasn't wanted, right? Cleveland and Carolina and LA, and it's being wanted as well in the organization. Yes, you are drafted, but I feel like a lot of these organizations are like, I have to draft this guy because there is a 50-50 shot he may turn out to be good. 50-50 to me isn't worth drafting a first-round pick and paying him the top dollar that a first-round pick's getting now. 50-50 is not. I need 90-10. I need a 90% guarantee. What's that?
In all honesty, Baker was one in Cleveland. Deshaun Watson, they just thought was a better option years later. Baker was definitely one.
I think what happens is he goes to an organization that but my point on that is that the other point is development too, because that was the biggest thing that he was saying, that a lot of these quarterbacks that you just mentioned, they needed 3 to 4 years to sit behind a quarterback. But unfortunately, a lot of times it doesn't work out that way, because you have to go in. Here's the keys, and there you go. They have to develop, because a lot of these quarterbacks are not NFL ready. They are not first round picks. So a lot of what's mistaking in a lot of these teams that I'm agreeing with you with, Trey, is they're not building the team around them. The reason why Saquon is doing so much better in Philadelphia than he is in New York is because he's got a fucking offensive line to run behind, and he has a coach that believes in him and hands him the ball and says, "Here, go." I mean, I'm not trying to shit on you, Mike, but it's the truth. When you look at teams like that, like, you don't give them you're just not giving Bryce Young a chance. You're not giving him a chance. I don't know if he'll ever be a good NFL quarterback, but you're not giving him a chance to be good, because look at the organization. It's in shambles, ownership down. They traded away everybody that they had. They had traded away McCaffrey. They traded away their fucking star receiver.
100% agree with that. 100%.
I mean, like, what are you doing to this?
No, that was a failed position for
bad.
whoever.
It was a
But
fail.
I go back to when I say, did they look at the film and these type of things? Because what about Bryce? Did y'all think he was about to elevate that much when you just traded away all the assets? You should have known better to. And then, okay, let's be also realistic. I guess I go back to the film. Y'all knew what his weaknesses were, and then you threw him out there anyways on that team. At that point, the way they set that team up, you basically fucking needed Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning. You need like a generational player to come to that team and be able to actually figure it out instantly. Because the truth is, as good as C.J. Stroud is, if C.J. would have went, I think he still would have been better than Bryce, but he wouldn't be.
It would have been a disaster for him, bro.
Yeah,
nowhere near the season.
Not one person.
Yeah, he wouldn't be nearly the C.J. if he got drafted to the Panthers.
But I think the quarterback, there's a multitude of things, right? Like moving around from coach to coach, having a different coach every single year. Like everyone in Philadelphia is on the next Sirianni, get the fuck out of here, train. And I'm just like,
Yeah,
dude,
like
relax.
patience. Like, what are you
Dude
talking
has
about?
a winning record as a head coach. It's just like the Ryan Day situation in Ohio State. It's like he has a fucking winning. He has 6 losses in 5 years or whatever with Ohio State. Like, how the fuck are you gonna fire a guy that has like over 70 wins? Like, that's the way I look at him. Like, he's doing something.
That is an entirely different situation.
I know. I get what you mean. I know that. But
Hey, Mikey, I'm on your
but
train.
when I look at franchises,
really quick, the
like
difference there versus the NFL is in the NFL they are capped to an extent. The reason Ryan Day doesn't get this type of luxury because he basically has unlimited resources, unlike some of these guys. So it's
there's no cap. There's no cap.
Yeah, there's no cap. We literally are willing to give him any resource he wants.
And when I look at the big glaring issue that I think we all didn't say, it's the owners, the greedy motherfuckers that are owning these teams. The salary cap cannot be the same as the NBA. I know there's less players, or at least similar. The salary cap needs to be higher. I'm sorry, but to your point, Jay, when you were saying that the quarterback is starting to separate, now the quarterback's up here, and everybody else is here. And you know what's going to suck is when the offensive linemen say, you know what, fuck it, I'm not playing.
Exactly. Because who's most connected to the quarterback? The lineman and the receiver. So they need to demand the most immediately. Like, our bracket goes up with you.
So there's a theory out that I've heard for years that some people say the quarterback is just be a separate cap. It's a quarterback cap, it's the team cap.
Yep, I think we talked about that before.
Yeah, so you have that. But inherently, let's be honest, I agree with you, John, but not for the reason you just said about the owners being greedy. What it needs to be is no fucking salary cap. Then we can put all the onus on owners because then you can pay Joe Burrow his 50, and maybe Chase Austin deserves his fucking 50, and maybe your best left tackle in the league, maybe Lane Johnson, also deserves to be making what
pay to play, boy. Pay to play.
It would be wild.
Yeah, because at that point, I don't know about the salary cap. The issue with the salary cap is always gave owners an inherent reason to say, well, my hands are tied behind my back. You know what happens in baseball? You can't go out there and say that because Steinbrenner, he can't go out and say, well, my hands are tied behind my back. Everybody say, what the fuck are you talking about?
He does.
You do what you want. So the owner, right, and you all look at him like he's fucking nuts when he says that shit because the fucking Yankee Stadium is sold out. They're topping merchandise every year. They're one of the most valued franchises in sports. So if I'm sitting and I'm Jerry Jones, you know what Jerry Jones has the excuse? I only can pay CD Lamb and Dak Prescott so much. Jerry Jones, if you take away the salary cap, all excuses are gone.
Derrick Henry, yeah, right. Yo, listen up.
Dallas, after seeing what that he built in Dallas right there in that area,
he's got the money.
Fucker can afford it.
Never use that
on a Wednesday over that area.
Never. You know, you've seen it firsthand. Listen, guys, let me take it back to a little fun here. Here's what's happening this year. Let the kickers kick. All right, let the kickers kick. When have we seen coaches say, 66? Yeah, go on. You could hit that. 64? Yeah, go on out there. 68? Yeah, 72. What is going on? Since when did kickers go to that coach and say, Coach, I'm the new fucking Legatron. Put me in the game, coach. And all right, yeah, I don't care the distance, bro. Just try it because our quarterback can't do shit once we're not within like 3 yards. So go ahead and fucking kick a 60-yarder. I don't even care about kicking the ball and punting anymore. It's almost kind of entertaining, and I guess I like it. And the sad thing is we took kicker away in one of our leagues to add a double flex. It's like, well, shit, now they're worth so much dollars. Yeah, they're doing great things. And on top of that, too, the defenses are making plays. All right, we see what the Vikings have been doing. You see what the Saints have been doing. Defenses are doing their thing. 69 interceptions in the first 3 weeks. That's 23 a game. That's a lot of picks.
Wow. Let me tell you, your next guys trip, your next trip in general, if you want to go and watch a ton of sports, binge on beer, have good food, and have a great time. That is Texas Live in Arlington, Texas. Yes, I know I'm wearing the Philadelphia Eagles jersey. It pains me to say that, but Dallas does it right. Right in between AT&T Stadium and Globe Life and Choctaw Stadium, the former home of the Rangers, is this monstrosity of TVs, restaurants, outdoor seating, of just sports, and more sports. You cannot get enough in there. They have something for everyone. They have nice sit-down restaurants. They have pizza. They have burgers. They have barbecue. You name it, they have it at this place. And it's not the only location, right? There's a bunch of different live franchises across the country, including Philadelphia, which is called Xfinity Live. Similar concept, my Philadelphians, so don't worry, I will be there. But I had a great time with my wife going to this location. It was amazing. When she walked in, she said, this is amazing. You need to bring the guys here. And we are definitely going to be there. It has a restaurant called Troy's obviously after Troy Aikman, which has a great beer, 8 if you're health conscious. It's one of the lightest beers I've ever seen. And then outside, you can sit outside, have a cigar, enjoy the games. They have TVs everywhere. I got to give Jerry Jones some credit because looking out through there and seeing that big monstrosity of AT&T Stadium, it looks absolutely phenomenal. Didn't go to the game, but my Eagles fans, don't you worry. I was in full Eagles gear the entire time I was there, and I was getting ripped on, but I was also happy because the Saints were putting a hurting on the Dallas Cowboys. So it was a great time, and if you have a guy's trip planned, find one of these live locations, whether it's Dallas, Philadelphia, or any of them, and go and have a great time. You will not be disappointed. Oh, one little tidbit, stay there. They have hotels there. It may cost you a little bit more, but it'll cost you less than buying Ubers back and forth. So Cinco Squad will be there next year. Yeah, well, I mean, I think we could go on forever. I'm sure the NFL. Look at guys, it's a long season, and I ran about it the last 3 weeks. It's a long season. Mm-hmm. I can see it turning around and it start doing more of a balanced thing. So it's going to. But let's take it over to Mike and Jamie for our edition of Over and Under NFL.
Yeah, Mikey, rock paper scissors. Let's see who goes first. You ready?
Sure.
Rock paper scissors. You saw me do that, son of a punk. Go ahead.
Because the door's open. I'm just kidding. It's not. So over under, gentlemen. It actually works out that I went first because over under. We just talked about how long kickers can kick from, right?
Nice.
Well, the traditional king of that has not been very good, has he?
Nope.
Mr. Justin Tucker of the Baltimore Ravens has yet to make a 50-plus yard field goal this season, which is unheard of for his career. So, over under, gentlemen, Justin Tucker makes 5 50-plus yard field goals this year.
Over.
Under.
I had a feeling.
It's week 3. He's not gonna. It's like I feel like they're gonna be.
Sometimes when kickers lose it, they lose it though. We've seen this before.
Yeah,
where sometimes it becomes almost like the yips, and I feel like that's where he's at right now, where he's overthinking it. I don't think his career is necessarily over, but I wouldn't be shocked if he goes under and then finds it back next year. Like I remember Chris Boswell from the Steelers having like this couple year period where he sucked, and now he's good again. If you remember, what's the guy Coop, the one out there in Atlanta? Remember the Chargers cut his ass because he couldn't make field goals, and now he's historically one of the most accurate.
Everything.
Keeps going back and forth, accurate kicker in NFL history. So I think this might not be that year for Tucker.
That's my guy, Koo in Atlanta. I've drafted him 3 years.
The other question that came up in my head on it that makes it an interesting thing, which is why I put it at 5, was how many opportunities does he get? Because the Ravens' offense is better.
Yeah, if the offense is better, I mean they're closer, so they're not having to kick from as far out as they were. That used to be the thing. The Ravens couldn't get far, and they would just kick it.
It's just situational. I mean, right? If it's 4th and 15 from the 40, they're going to kick it, right? They're going to do the ball. But if it's 4th and 3, and that's what I kept saying about, with the Eagles is the last 3 years, when it's 4th and 3, you know what's coming out, right? Like,
exactly.
It's tush push or it's fucking we're going for it, right? And a lot of times with these kickers, like they're going to have to suffer. And I think that's what happens is like ultimately your kicker is confident and it's like, I got it. And the coach is like, why don't you put me on? I got the easy 3 points. And it's like, no, we're going to go for it. We're going 6. So,
right.
I don't know. I think that's a good question. No, I would say over that. Jamie, what you got?
All right, guys. So in light of kind of talking about like some mediocrity play happening, especially on the offensive side of the ball. So my over on this week is coaches fired before week 9, 1.5.
Over.
Before week 9?
Before week 9.
Over.
Yeah.
Patience is a lost thing. And a couple.
Well, we talked about it earlier.
A couple people probably get fired.
Now you're gone.
All right. So then, obviously, you guys have names in mind. Why are you so quick to say over? You have 2 names in mind. Who's getting fired?
Let me pull my list up real quick because I had at some point thought of how many coaches in general just been fired.
McCarthy.
I think.
Hey, McCarthy gets fired. Zimmerman.
I think.
Remember, it's not head coach, but you guys think 2 head coaches? I might coach like it could be a coordinator, offensive, defensive.
Okay.
I was talking head.
Well, then, definitely over because I think they get fired together.
No, I don't.
All right, so then we're definitely getting 2 coaches fired before week 9. Okay.
So I think who will get fired this year will probably be Mike McCarthy, Doug Peterson, Brian Dable, Mike McDaniel. There's one more.
Zach Taylor?
No, I don't think Zach Taylor. Just
Peterson might be
there's so
one
many
of the ones to
injuries
go
right now
before
on
9.
that team.
If the
Peterson
Saints
might go
implode,
before 9.
Dave Canellis?
I think if the
one and
Jets,
done.
if the Jets are a
Again.
mediocre team, Robert Saleh.
Yeah, I could see it.
I could definitely
Yep.
see him go before week 9. If this goes.
And honestly, if the Bills end up imploding here halfway through the season, I can see.
How can they implode when they're already halfway through and they're going to be undefeated halfway?
How do they halfway through?
I don't think it'll have. I
I'm
bet.
just saying, to me, they're playing so well. They're going to be
If
undefeated.
they
How
go
they can
3-6 in the next 6 games,
I know their games are rough, but they may come out. I mean, they look like a team that's ready to come out.
Yeah.
No, but I can, to John's point, having, very recently lived up there, there's a very strong contingent of Bills fans in Western and Central New York that are already on fire McDermott at the drop of a hat.
But I think those coaches are on the hot seat right now. Sirianni is on the hot seat, even though I don't think he should be.
I could see it at the end of the season. I don't know if I could see 2 before week 9. I could see it as the season goes on a little bit before, but
you're saying
you're saying under? I think that'll be a dumpster squad like you guys just mentioned at the end. It's just going to be how it's being like musical chairs in so many sports. Who's going where? Who's taking whose jobs? Like college football.
The carousel, yeah.
So hold on 1 second. So I have over. Trey has over. Jamie has under. Mike, what'd you say?
Over.
Okay, so we got 3 overs on both sides. So let us know in the comments what you think. But let's take it from the gridiron to the baseball diamond, where the true sport is.
Of course.
We got MLB playoffs coming up next week, fellas, and it is turning out to be a very interesting end of the year. Teams are either imploding and or playing their best baseball right now. So, but the 2 players that are playing lights out, that is El Capitan, Aaron Judge, and Mr. 700, Shohei Ohtani. Now, both leagues, if you don't know, have an MVP. NL has MVP and AL has MVP. But if you had to choose one MVP of the entire league, who are you going with? Ohtani or Judge?
Ohtani, flat out. I know you Yankees fans are coming with yours. We leaning in here. It's Ohtani. And the reason why, don't get me wrong, it's impressive what Aaron Judge is doing. So by no means is this shade Aaron Judge. I mean, yeah, he hits a lot of home runs. The average is up, and I give him that. Ohtani has a great average. Ohtani hits home runs. Ohtani, I think where my X factor goes is the steals. And I know it gets underrated at times because the thing is, not only are you scared when this man is batting, when he's standing behind you on second base, I am still fearful that he may get to third. I'm fearful when he gets on first that he may go. If I walk him, he may go take another base. If I walk Judge, he's just at first base. This is the end of the discussion. I walk Ohtani, he may find his way to third before we get done with this. Before we get done with this series. So I think for me, those steals are where you base your separation. It's a very tight race. It's a historical year for both, but it's a different, even for the pitcher. I mean, you can't relax when you got to keep looking out the corner of your eye and you keep seeing this motherfucker just scooting back and forth. You're like, it's gonna go. It's gonna go. So yeah, that's where I'm. Yeah.
Trey, pass me the ball. Trey, I got you. Boom. That's right. It is Shohei Ohtani, ladies and gentlemen, because we have to appreciate history when history is being made, because we can't keep taking it for granted. And we say that on that show. This league didn't do a good enough job of promoting the history. Shame on you. Same with MLB. This shit should have been hype. Like, we should have all been glued in and be like, yo, you've never seen this before. This player is doing something no generation alive has seen before. Freaking glue it yourself to a game. Make sure Dodgers games are available. Do what you have to do to get the man out there. And guys, we talk, Mikey, John, I love the Judge. I'll say all rise, all right? And I even say for the honorable. I put a lot of respect on that man's name, okay? But what Ohtani is doing, I don't know people, he's only hitting, he's on the field enough, blah, 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 all that talk, whatever. Shut up, all right? Just let it go, all right? Let the guy do what he has to do. I love one thing about debates like this. When both players are so good and you have to choose one, everybody has a compelling argument as to why. So let me pass you the ball. Who wants it? Somebody going to pick it off? Gentlemen, next.
So, yeah, Ohtani's having a career year. I think Ohtani has struggled throughout the year and kind of picked it up over the last 3 months. And just watching him play, he did have a couple down months where he was like, what are you sure this is a $700 million guy? Right? When you look at him, I think Judge has been the most consistent throughout the year. So when you look at an MVP, yes, you have to appreciate, but Judge has been consistent. He had a few weeks off in the first of the year where it was like, what the fuck just happened to Aaron Judge?
Mm-hmm.
But he's been consistently crushing the ball every single month, right? He's been AL Player of the Month probably 2 or 3 times. He's been Player of the Week countless times. He's just been consistently hitting and being a factor, right? The thing with Judge is if Judge does not go, the team does not go. If Shohei does not go, the Dodgers still go. The Dodgers are still an effective team without Shohei. Shohei was just a great piece. You take Aaron Judge off the Yankees are probably a 500 or less team, not making the playoffs. So when I look at the factors and what most valuable means, I think the most valuable piece to a team is Aaron Judge. Now, like I said, I gotta give credit where credit's due. That shit's crazy what he did in Miami here, and I would have went to the game if I was in town. And I think that's why it wasn't televised. If he did it in San Diego, where they're playing a rivalry game,
Mikey and I said that to each other.
More hype because they're playing for a division race. Miami, they're up 17-3. Like, okay, keep doing what you got to do. I mean, he got to pick. I mean, realistically, that last home run, he shouldn't have been in the game. But whatever, let him hit. Right?
Yeah, why not?
Exactly, let him hit.
Mad Dog on ESPN was pissed about it. I was like, dude,
the sport should be, but that's what the sport needs. The sport needs that energy. Let it fly. Stop bringing these
Judge. That's the farthest I've ever seen it in that Marlins Stadium. So I say Judge just because if you take Judge off the Yankees are imploding big time, even with Soto. Soto is having a great year because Soto is great, but Soto is having a career year hitting in front of Mr. Aaron Judge. Plus, Aaron Judge has also been walked 140 times. May not be the speed demon that Ohtani is, but, I mean...
He's on base to get you ripped.
Yeah. So, all right, Mikey, take it away.
Okay. If this argument was for who is the MLB's most historic player, I would definitely hear what you're saying. But we're talking about most valuable player. And the most valuable player to their team is, all rise, it's Aaron Judge. Because, to John's point, the Dodgers have Ohtani, who is their best player. But they also have Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman and Tyler Glasnow and Walker Buehler and Yoshinobu Yamamoto and
Mookie's been hurt though.
Okay, when he's played all 3 positions he's played this year, he's still been a good player.
Yeah, he's played a lot.
I promise you, Aaron Judge has
a great player.
Hold on. I'm getting there. I promise you, Aaron Judge has Juan Soto and Juan Soto.
And Garrett Cole. Don't fucking
well, until he was hurt though.
I don't think Stan is a bum now. I mean,
if he's not hitting home runs, yes, he is. Because either I promise you, it's either Giancarlo Stanton either he hits a homer or strikes out. That's the only results. They have good developing players. Every so often, Gleyber Torres is good. Austin Wells is getting better. But when you compare talent to talent, the Dodgers are far and away, and they've spent enough money to, far and away a better team, talent-wise, on paper, than the Yankees. And there is no Yankees division title this year without Aaron Judge.
Fair enough.
It just isn't.
And I'll make one stance that I made on the rotation here a few months ago. Aaron Judge will break the home run record.
Wow.
I don't think so.
Season, the home run record. He will break.
Wow. I would more say in a single season.
Single season.
Well, he already has, depending on who you ask.
I'm calling it right now. So when I'm
43
years old, we're still doing this show at episode 2030.
Hey, by then we'll be having him come on as a guest, so it'll be an honor.
Exactly.
You're gonna come on.
But okay, so the other thing for Ohtani though, and I will say this: as much as you just gave the whole thing of laying this out and saying that the AL East isn't as good as the NL West, so also he was going against harder. It's not. He was going against harder competition.
Baltimore was the only competition this year, Mikey. You know that.
Yeah.
It is not. Well, outside of the Rockies, everybody else in the NL West is up.
Yep.
Wait, who?
Yeah, the Rockies.
Outside of the Rockies. I said outside of the Rockies, the NL West is definitely.
I said
Mariners. Look at the records, even at this moment. Yankees 92 wins. Orioles 87. Red Sox 80. Rays 78 and 79. Blue Jays 73 and 85. When you flip over to the NL West over here, you got the Dodgers with 93 wins. Padres 91. Diamondbacks 87. You got the Giants in fourth at 79. The Rockies, they're pretty shit. They got 60 wins. So, like I said, it was a lot more top heavy teams he's playing at the top.
This shit is the White Sox.
But hold on. But congratulations on having the NL Central, who everybody was eliminated last month, except for the Brewers that won the division.
Who brought that up?
I'm saying.
Congratulations.
The National League West gets to play the NL Central more often.
Okay, congratulations on playing the White Sox, who have 8 people in the stadium.
Okay, and the other 4 teams in that division are all contending for the playoffs.
But also don't have great.
I agree with you, Trey. The AL East has been dog shit, other than the Baltimore.
Yes,
the AL East have been dog
shit.
The
Blue Jays were supposed to be a playoff team. The Rays were supposed to be a playoff team.
All right, well,
everybody away.
Boston.
You still got to hit the ball.
That's all. He still played the Angels. They're 63 wins. He played the Athletics. They're 68 wins.
Hey, let's hear it for Shohei Ohtani, MVP.
I mean, all I'm saying is Judge has better numbers this year than when he broke the single season home run ALC.
If he doesn't break it, then they might give it to Shohei. But if he breaks it, then wow, is that a compelling argument? If you had to make a decision, it would be cool. You can't make a decision. It would be cool this year if he breaks it. Then Shohei.
He didn't hit one tonight, as far as Wednesday, and he would have to hit 2 a game for the next 4 games. So he's not going to.
Yeah, it'll be tough. He's got more doubles this year. That's what.
I mean, if they gave it to Shohei, I'm not gonna be pissed. I'm gonna be like, all right, whatever.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's not like either of them don't deserve it. It's just
it's not. This isn't a shitting on Judge argument or anything by any means. I mean, it's clearly in most years they've run away with the MVP award. In most years, it's just as a rare historical year. You got 2 guys balling out like this at the same time.
I think this is going to be years to come too, right? Like this has been the last 4 years where Shohei and Judge have been back and forth with each other. So I think it's just going to be a fallout brawl, which is what baseball needs. And baseball needs to promote it like that. I think they need to change it to 1 MVP so you can see this boom, 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 back and forth. Watching the Ohtani watch, the Judge watch. We got to watch these guys and have it 1 MVP to make it more entertaining for when times like this where football. I mean, I'll be honest, the last 2 weeks, I haven't really watched any games.
He deserves consideration? Okay, Chris Getz, I know you were a replacement level player, but that doesn't mean you need to be a replacement level general manager. Grady Sizemore is currently and should continue to be the manager of your baseball team. He is about the only person I've heard in the last 10 years that has said he actually likes being a Chicago White Sox. Now, as of this recording, Grady Sizemore has 8 wins as White Sox interim manager. That doesn't sound like a lot, but when you take into account that that's been about a month and a half, and before that they had 29 in 4 months, he's actually at a better winning pace than the previous manager, Pedro Grifol. Also, that's after the White Sox got rid of almost every major league level talent player on the roster. So I don't think you need to go external like you always have, and it's never worked out. Just stay internal, stay with the guy that likes being on your team, and make Grady Sizemore your manager moving forward.
So, but let us know in the comments what you guys are thinking. Is it Ohtani? Is it Judge? Or is it someone else? So, but fellas, let's get on to it. I think Mikey won last week with overall points in the Bills.
Yes, sir.
Bills tiebreaker. So Mikey gets on the board. All 4 of us at 1. One.
Congrats, Mikey. Congrats.
Congrats to Mikey. But we got to get to
Whoa. Yeah, boy. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everybody in between. You guys know what time it is. It is time for Stump the Squad, our favorite time to show. So here's how we roll. If you want to play along with us, keep your phones out of it. Put your laptops away. We're not really cheating. I promise you that. We only get it wrong because since we wanted to be the kind guys that we are, we want you guys to have a chance to beat us at this game, okay? So let us know. If you get it right, +2. If you get it wrong, give yourself -2. If you score more than us, like, subscribe, comment, and say, you guys suck, I rule. And we might bring you on as a guest to play. Who knows? Anyway, so I'm going to take it over to the winner because, I like to kill momentum to start us off. So, Mikey, what do you got for us this week?
I had a feeling. So, we did mention how absolutely terrible the Chicago White Sox are. So, tell me, what MLB team holds the all-time record for losses in a single season?
Ooh.
Is it A, the 2024 Chicago White Sox? B, the 1899 Cleveland Spiders? C, the 1962 New York Mets? Or D, the 1916 Philadelphia Athletics?
Athletics.
Mets.
99 Spiders.
Okay. Gentlemen, this week I have successfully stumped John and Trey. It is the 1899 Cleveland Spiders. So, you know what? I'm gonna kill momentum back. Jamie.
Touche. All right, gentlemen. So, like I said, it's all about the red in this show. We're taking this to my guy, the Red Rifle. Can you guys tell me how many career touchdowns does the Red Rifle Andy Dalton? I'll reword it actually because it's a little bit more tricky. How many career touchdowns has Andy Dalton thrown for at this point in his career? 237, 242, 249, or 251. So all of them are 200s. I'll take out the 2. 37, 42, 49, 51.
249.
42.
Can you say them again for me, please?
37, 42, 49, 51.
37.
All right. So John, you had 37. Mikey, you had 49. Trey, you had 42.
Yep.
Gentlemen, this evening I have stumped John and Trey. It is 249, which means if he throws someone this weekend, he's a 250. All right, John, you got it.
All right. So Charlotte and FIU have the lowest winning percentage in FBS history with what percentage?
Oh, my goodness.
0.28, 0.34, 0.35, or 0.36?
We're going to bunch them up. So it's 3,
Look for
4, 5, 6, and 2, 8. Are those the 4 options?
28, 34, 35,
35,
36.
36. Cool.
With a point.
34.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking 34.
Mike, Jamie?
I don't know, boys. So when some teams suck, they just don't win enough games to be at 30%. So I'll take 28.
I have successfully stumped Grandpa J. It is 0.34%. So Mike's at 4.
Mhm.
So Mike, I think you won this week. You have 4
did.
points. Jamie has 0. I have -4. Trey has
No, because Mike can get this wrong and I can get it right.
If I could get it wrong, James could get it right anytime.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so it's up to Mike and Jamie.
Go
Go ahead, Trey.
Let's go.
Go ahead, Trey.
Okay, back to the hardwood. Lindsay Whalen has played the most WNBA playoff games. How many games has she played in? 74, 82, 91, 103.
91.
John's
82.
191. What'd you say, Mike?
82.
Mike 182.
That's my gut, so I got to go with 91.
And Jay's going 91. So we have 91 from John and Jamie, and we have 82 from Mike. All right, so today I have successfully stumped John and Jamie. Today.
No.
Yes.
See, I knew it was 82, but I couldn't go there because he wins,
Yeah.
so I had to take the risk. Shit.
I got every
Get
question right.
that little belt out of here, bro. Let me come in there with a real belt.
God damn. I got
Oh,
every
yeah.
question
I
wrong.
got a little
I got
belt.
every question right.
Mikey,
so
2 in a
Mikey
row.
is getting
All of
back
a
on
sudden,
his
he's
feet.
whipping out 2 belts. Talk
No,
about
no.
humble juice. Talk about humble juice. Humble juice, humble juice, humble juice. Bat hog.
That is
Don't
2
worry.
for 2 for Mike for wins. He is now Stump the Squad episode 130 winner. And the score now reads Mikey with 2 and the rest of us with 1. Fellas, it was great to be back arguing with you guys.
Yes.
It was fun. I like this hat. It's covering the heat.
It's-
lights.
There you
I'm
go.
enjoying this, even though I'm sweating. So make sure you guys tune into our socials at Cinco Squad Pod 05. We're always active during football season and basketball season coming up here in
Yes,
4
sir.
weeks. Hockey season starting. We got a bunch of stuff going on. Kentucky has a light up court now. That's pretty dope. So
That's cool.
make sure you guys tune into our socials at Cinco Squad Pod 05. We will be back here next week for episode 131 We'll see you guys here next week. Howdy.
One tie dogs game, baby.
Bye.